I have a dog named Henry. He's looking out the window right now, yeah, he's about 10 years old. He has a view of the yard right now where there are lots of squirrels, and he's really obsessed with squirrels. So I would bring him over here, but like he can't even hear me when there are squirrels in the yard. Let's see if we can get Henry in here. Let's see. Okay, he did come over, so that's good news. We're gonna try to see if I can lift him. He's not really a lap dog, but he doesn't mind being lifted. There he is. You can see he's so comfortable. Very handsome profile there. It looks very dignified. I have a series of books that are about a rabbit who always gets into trouble. He just does whatever he wants to do. They're called the Jack books, and this character Jack, who just like knocks things over, messes things up, just sort of is like doesn't really listen and does whatever he wants. It's based partially on Henry. There's Freddie in Mac B Kid Spy. That was a loaner dog, a corgi from the Queen of England that she would loan to me for spy missions, and then she would take him back at the end of spy missions. So yeah, you know, it was sad. It was sad because I always wanted a dog when I was a kid, and then I got the dog from the Queen of England, but like 2 days later she would just take the dog back. You know, a loner dog. That's not the way to do it. I think I would be a teacher, but I don't know. I would either want to teach like kindergarten or first grade, or college. Like that, those would be the two ends of it. I was actually studying to be a medievalist, which is like a medievalist. If anybody doesn't know, it's somebody who like reads books that were written 1,000 years ago. So I thought that sounded good. Every day I could just read old books, and then I was just gonna like grow just a huge beard, like big enough that like birds could live in it. I thought that would be pretty fun. But I said, you know what? Hold up on the beard, save that. We're gonna try to write a kid's book. And that was when I was like just out of college. I said, I'm gonna give myself 1 year. I'm gonna try to write a picture book. And if I'm not able to write a picture book, I'm gonna start growing the beard, befriending the birds, and reading the old books. I was a substitute teacher for a long time. Well, not for a long time, actually. It just felt like a long time. Every day as a substitute teacher feels like a long time. So I would go into different grades, and I just had the most fun. With kindergarten, especially like it's fun to talk about kindergarten stuff, the weather, time. I don't have any of this stuff figured out. You know, I don't know what time is. I don't know what the weather is. So that was my speed. I like that. We got deep. You know, you're like, what is the wind? Why is it windy? The kindergartners would ask me questions. I would be like, I have no idea. And I want to think about that for a while. And the day went really fast with kindergarten. And then with college, I think that was going to give me an excuse to I don't think that you get to be like a medievalist who teaches third grade. So if I was gonna read my old dusty books, which I was excited about, I was gonna have to be college. Yeah. As a kid, I loved the Frog and Toad stories. I still love those by Arnold Lobel. I loved books by a writer, Margaret Wise Brown, and her most famous book in the U.S. is Goodnight Moon, but she wrote so many books. I really loved her books as a kid. James Marshall, who wrote the George and Martha books. I love those books. Donald Cruz, who wrote Freight Train, which is like this book that I think it was like one of my first books that I really loved as a kid. But then still, like, it just talks about the cars of the train but somehow at the end, like the train, it ends with the train moving, and it just runs you through the cars of the train, but it can make you cry, that book. It's really, that's a special book. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that I just like, I always loved writing so much, kid. I just make books all the time and write stories and staple them together or tie them together with yarn and give them to my friends. But one of the books that I wrote as a kid that I was really proud of was sort of messing around with fairy tales. And it was because I was inspired by this book, The Stinky Cheese Man, written by John Sheska. And as an adult, I got to meet John Sheska, and I sent him my first picture book when I was done, and he helped me get it published. So this, like, ever since I was a kid, I loved this guy's writing, and then he helped me become a kid's book writer. I mean, I love to read. You're right that I don't read only children's books. I don't actually read many children's books. I read some picture books because I like to just see what people are getting up to with picture books. People are always doing such new, exciting things with them. But mainly I like to read novels. I like to read fiction, stories that are made up. And I just love to read all different kinds of fiction. I love to hop around from different genres. But always made up stories. I think my favorite writer is probably a Russian writer, Nikolai Gogol, who wrote short stories that I just think are the best. They're just so strange, but feel so. The strangest things happen in them, but they feel very real to me. I don't know. I think that, like, I like to read stories like that. I like to try to write stories that way too, a lot of the time. Yeah. All right. So my favorite color is green. It's green. But it moves around a lot. It was blue. Blue had a long run for about 10 years. And then when I was a kid, it was pink. That was the big one there. But now it's sort of settled into green for the last 3 years. I don't really know why. But it definitely is. It's the color. It's the color of the moment right now for me. Yeah.